The Tiger Phantom. Having heard of my title, you must be wondering, is this a speech about a horror story? Well, not exactly. As we all know, Malayan tigers are an integral part of Malaysian culture. It is embedded in the Jata Negara, the symbol of the PRM, and our national football team. The Malayan tiger also symbolizes bravery. That is why it is so important to Malaysia and its people. However, the Malayan tigers are critically endangered and are facing extinction. According to Worldwide Fund for Nature Malaysia, in 2016, they conducted a research and they found that only 200 Malayan tigers remain in Peninsular Malaysia compared to 3,000 in the 1950s. According to the IUCN Red List, the Malayan tigers are considered as critically endangered. You must be wondering why these tigers are critically endangered. Well, the Malayan tigers have been facing a lot of problems ever since the 1950s, such as poaching and etc. Me, myself, I am very passionate about animals, especially the Malayan tigers, because if these tigers that are so unique to Malaysia go extinct, we'll never see them again forever. And that is why I stand with WWF Malaysia in order to conserve these tigers, to save them, and conserve their numbers and replenish them in the near future. That is why today I would like to encourage you, the audience, to donate and fund WWF Malaysia's conservation efforts in order to help our beloved and national treasure, which is the Malayan tigers, by answering these three questions. Firstly, how and why the Malayan tigers are facing extinction and are critically endangered and other related problems. Secondly, how WWF Malaysia can solve these problems along with other NGOs through their conservation efforts. And thirdly, the benefits we as Malaysians and Malaysia itself would get from these efforts. Phew, that was the introduction. You must be wondering why these Malaysian tigers are facing extinction and growing, and the numbers are depleting so quickly. Well, firstly, the first reason is because of poaching. Ever since the 1950s, there was a rise in the needs for Chinese medicine because Chinese medicine requires whiskers and teeth. And supposedly, the tiger's teeth and whiskers could cure typhoid and malaria. According to a research conducted by Traffic, an international NGO, an average of 124 tigers were killed in India each year. The second reason is the loss of habitat. Ever since the 1950s through the 1990s and 2010, Malaysia lost 96,000 hectares of forest, or 0.43% of forests annually. So only 11.6% of Malaysian forests are considered pristine, of which thousands of unique animal species live in. The final reason is insufficient funding. WWF Malaysia is undoubtedly the biggest NGO in Malaysia with their conservation efforts in trying to help replenish the Malayan tigers in Malaysia. Without sufficient funding, they cannot run their operation smoothly because they need to hire rangers, they need to buy food and equipment to conserve and help these Malayan tigers. You must be wondering, wow, all those all those problems require a solution, right? Well, surely there is a solution. The solution is WWF Malaysia itself. Being the largest NGO in trying to help the Malayan tigers in Malaysia, their conservation efforts will definitely help replenish the number of Malayan tigers by 2022, which is the aim. Other than that, the WWF Malaysia helps to support community-based conservation in rural parts of Malaysia. The second solution is we, as the public, must donate and fund WWF Malaysia's and their activities. This is because WWF Malaysia spends around 5 million ringgit a year to hire 100 rangers and employ other people to conduct their conservation efforts. WWF Malaysia also is the largest NGO who employs indigenous people in Malaysia. This third solution is we as a public must also support WWF Malaysia and the conservation efforts through many ways, such as educating the public about the dangers of deforestation and its effects towards Mother Nature. In turn, the public and NGOs will make their voices heard and maybe can climb the ranks of the hierarchy on bureaucracy to the parliament so that the government can solve these problems more efficiently. Surely, WWF Malaysia is a noble and a very important NGO in Malaysia. Their noble acts and noble intentions will help Malayan tigers' numbers increase and replenish, and also other unique and endangered species in Malaysia. You also must be wondering, what do we get from all these efforts? Well, firstly, we as Malaysians, we can enjoy a much broader environment and more secure environment for these endangered animals, such as the Malayan tigers and other critically endangered species in Malaysia that are unique only to Malaysia. We as Malaysians must be proud of our Malayan tigers because they are a symbol of our nation. And as Malaysians, we need to also be sad when these numbers of the Malayan tigers are decreasing very rapidly every year. Imagine Malaysia being a balanced country between a jungle of steel and a jungle of wildlife. Also, well, infrastructure is very important, but care must be taken not to do infrastructure and damage the wildlife and the forest, because this can lead to loss of habitat and might hinder the conservation efforts done by NGOs such as WWF Malaysia in order to replenish the Malayan tigers' numbers. In summary, we all know that Malayan tigers are very important to us. It is very close to us as Malaysians in our hearts and in our nation. WWF Malaysia can solve these problems. Although Malayan tigers face many problems in the past and present, WWF Malaysia can help solve those problems by conducting their conservation efforts each year without rest. That is why WWF Malaysia is very important in tiger conservation in Malaysia and also other species in around the world. In turn, we will gain a lot of benefits from this, both individually, culturally, and in the end, the whole wide world will benefit from these efforts. Therefore, I would like to urge you, the audience, to fund and donate WWF Malaysia in order to fund the activities and conservation efforts online by visiting their website at www.community.wwf.org.my. It is very easy to donate because everything is in online now. Even though you donate RM1, that amount can eventually save one Malayan tiger with your help, inshallah. Finally, I would like to say, love our tigers, cherish Mother Nature. That is all from me.